Which side are you on? This is the Daily Dozen, presented by Champions Round.
Welcome back to the Daily Dozen. My name is Jason Gold, as always, joined by Stephie Smallls. And now our second day with Trell. Trell, Steph, how you guys doing this Wednesday?
I'm doing great. You know, I'm excited to get into some of these plays today, so I'm doing great.
Steph?
Yeah, feeling good. You know, I'm warming up to baseball. I'm doing my best. I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit more. So I'm happy that I have something to consume my time while we wait.
You beat both Trell and I yesterday on the Daily Dozen. So
yeah,
you're 1-0, our reigning champion. If we're going to do this around the horn style, you get the floor. All right, let's get into some props, some MLB props for June 29th. As always, you have until 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern to lock in these picks. First one on the board, Braves versus Phillies, total runs 8.5. Steph, where'd you fall on this one?
So I want to this is going to be being a brat right off the bat. I'm going to take the under here. Last 3 Braves games, the run total was 8. And this is just more of a gutsy play. Not much about it. The Braves won yesterday 5-3. I'm going to stay with that and ride the under here. I think the money is on the under, but wasn't that at 9?
So, yeah, I'm looking at Action Network right now. It is at 9, over 9 plus 102. However, the money is on the over, a lot on the over. 57% of bets, 95% of the money is coming in on the over. Trell, what do you think about that? Were you leaning towards the under or the over?
I lean towards the over. I was leaning towards the over all night last night because I do look at the slate late night sometimes. I think yesterday the under got a little lucky to hit. I think it was at 8 or 8.5, and they landed on 8 exactly. But there were a lot of runs scored very early in this game. And today we're going to get pretty much average pitchers on the mound. These guys aren't bad by any means, but they're not the studs that we had on the mound yesterday with Wright and Suarez. Suarez walks a lot of guys, lets up a ton of contact. His hope is that his defense behind him is going to get the outs for him. And that's not always a good recipe when you're playing against the home run hitting Braves. So I would take the over here. I think the Braves are going to light up the scoreboard once again, maybe even more. But I also think the Phillies maybe get a couple more across as well.
So I had the under 7.5 last night. That lost exactly. Fell on 8. Not great for me. But I like the over tonight. 57% of bets, 95% of the money, including sharp action and big money coming in. Again, this line has moved from 8.5 to 9, even though it's juiced a little bit towards the 9. So 8.5, feel like I'm getting an extra half run here. I will take the over. All right, next one up. Red Sox and Blue Jays, total runs 8.5. Trell, what are you thinking on this one?
Red Sox and Blue Jays, I'm going to have to probably go under in this one. Nick Pivetta, he started off shaky. Then he's turning into one of the Red Sox best pitchers. So he gets a good amount of swing and misses. He can rack up the strikeouts pretty quickly. The Blue Jays offense is powerful, but I think if he can mow down guys like Vladdy and Bichette and hold Kirk to base, then I think that we can get the under. Manoah, what's understood doesn't have to be explained there. Absolute stud. Doesn't really let up any type of contact. He's a huge swing and miss guy, huge strikeout guy. I think that he's going to be instrumental in keeping the Red Sox off the board. I don't know if they're going to be able to hit him today. So I'm going to go under here.
Steph, what are you thinking?
On this, both teams have scored an average of 5 or more in their last 3 games, but I think this is the one where they cooled down, and I think they cooled down enough where it can go underneath this number. So I am with Trell. I am on the under.
24% of bets, 79% of the money is coming in on the over here. That is a gigantic difference. That leads me to bet the over of 8.5 here, despite the fact that the juice a little bit, at least at BetMGM, is towards the under. The under 8.5 is minus 115, coming back at minus 105 on the other side. So little switcheroo here, but I'm looking at that difference in money percentage, and I'm liking the over here.
Do you remember how sharp that money percentage was for the Padres game last night? And how they soared over? Over.
You know what? Long term. I'm not trying to get everyone right. I'm trying to hit 55% long term, and we cash these checks. That's all I care about.
Charles going to be like me, where he starts being like bratty, like, oh, the money's on that. No, I'm good. Like, that's fine.
Well,
sometimes you got to fake the sharps.
In baseball, you're going to have to be more of a contrarian bettor when it comes to this, because the unexpected is going to happen. No one thought the D-backs was going to come back from 6-0 last night. No one's seen that happening.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that Kershaw was going to get absolutely rocked last night.
Rocked.
No one's seen that
rocked. Oh God, that Kershaw game was fucking terrible. And he
I
said
feel like
it
he
after.
had
He's
more
like,
walks than strikeouts. That is absurd.
he said after the game he's never pitched worse in his life. So yeah. Not great.
Make it
I
when
mean,
I put a max play on you, you want to have your worst game of your life. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, don't bet on Kershaw at Coors Field. He's got the highest ERA of his career at that ballpark. Speaking of which, we'll talk about the Dodgers in a little bit because I think
the game still went under though.
Yeah, yes it did. 7-4. All right, next one up: Twins and Guardians. Total runs 8.5. Start with Smalls here. Which way you leaning?
I am torn on this game. This is going to be one of those where I phone a friend and ask you guys to convince me otherwise. I'm leaning the over here. Cleveland's been pretty cold lately, averaging just over 1 run a game their last 3 games, while Minnesota's been playing very well. So for me, I think that they could even each other out and we could get an over, but it might be a little bit of a stretch. I wish this number was a little bit smaller.
All right, Trell, what do you think?
Neither offense has been crazy lately. Yesterday they played a doubleheader. I think one game ended 3-2 and the other game ended 6-0, whatever the case may be. I think today we get Cal Quantrill on the mound, who isn't necessarily a stud. I'm not saying he's a bad pitcher. He's a pretty good pitcher, but he's not a stud. The Twins are going to be able to hit him, and they're going to be able to get a lot of them. Correa is probably going to get a home run tonight, another one. I'm going to lean over 8.5. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this line hit 9 before game time. Like I said, and then Bundy, it's Bundy. He's going to – the Guardians are going to – if they're going to get hot, they're going to get hot against Bundy.
So the over 8.5 juiced -120 at BetMGM right now. So, Trell, you might be onto something. This might end up at 9 before the day is over. So if that's the case, I do have to lean towards the over here because we're getting that extra half run and we don't have to pay any juice on it. So I'm going to lean towards the over on this one. All right, Marlins Cardinals total run 7.5. I am on the Marlins money line today. First 5 also money line. One of my favorite bets of the day. But from a runs perspective, let's start with Trell here. What are you thinking on this one?
Whoo, this one's tough because we know what Alcantara is going to do. He's going to shut him down. That's just what he does. Huge strikeout guy. So I know that St. Louis is going to put up minimal runs. They'll probably get 2 or 3 at most. That's at most. That's if Alcantara has a bad game. But then we have who on the other side? Palante. He's been absolutely solid. Sub 2 ERA. Looks like he doesn't really let many runs cross the plate when he's in the game. Also, the Marlins, but the Marlins aren't really bad at hitting right-handed pitchers. It's lefties that they struggle against. So I'm gonna lean under here. We'll see if Palante can really keep the Marlins off the board a little bit. I know Sandy is gonna keep the Cardinals off the board, so I'm gonna lean under on this one. 7.5s are always tricky because it's either soaring under or it's soaring over. You don't really get like right there to the 7.5.
Smalls, that's almost like our Robert Williams rebounding props in the NBA Finals, where we weren't even close to anybody. Yeah. They were either 10 or 3.
Every single time.
Every single time. What do you think about Marlins Cardinals total run 7.5?
I mean, the under as well. The Cardinals have been scoring way more the last 3 than they have the rest of the season. So I think it's enough for them again to cool down. I'm gonna go with the under here.
I am gonna go with the under also. It's under 8 right now at BetMGM, but juice to the under -115. I'm still gonna go for the under here because I believe in Alcantara and I'm on the Marlins money line first 5 and for the game. So I'm hoping and praying that he gives up. He puts up a lot of donuts for the rest of today, and we get this W.
Hey, if it's at 8, sell the half a point and take it 7.5 for plus money.
Yeah. Well, interesting. So you get the 7.5, probably plus 105 or something like that.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of selling points. I'm not a huge fan of buying them. I'm a huge fan of selling them, though.
That is pretty decent.
Selling the points is a hell of a show name.
Yeah, maybe that should be the podcast, Selling the Points.
That's a hell of a show name, I'll tell you that much.
I'm writing this down in my notes right now. We're going to talk about this after the show. All right, let's get to the next one. Prop number 5, Dodgers Rockies total runs 11.5. I'll just say this off the top. I think the Dodgers are going to win tonight. I can't believe that we're through 2 straight losses. The Rockies have come back plus 170 on the money line again. The Pirates did this to the Dodgers earlier in the year where they swept them at home, and I think they hit 3 consecutive plus 250 or higher money lines. I don't see that happening again. Dodgers team is too talented. So I'm going to take them probably on the money line, probably minus 1.5 here. I don't know how I feel about the total runs, though. Why don't we start with Trell here? What are you thinking?
I could see it happen. The Rockies and Coors Field and out of Coors Field is like day and night. They're like one of the best in baseball at Coors Field at that altitude. And as soon as they leave, they turn into the worst team in baseball. It's absolutely crazy how that works out. I think the Rockies have a huge case to win tonight, especially with German Marquez on the bump. He's not great just because he gets shelled on the road. Like their ERAs suck because what they do on the road. But at home, these guys are very different. And the Dodgers, it looks like that they're in a soft spot right now. They're having some drama with Freddie Freeman talking about, I don't know if he wants to be in LA and this, that, and the other. Julio Urias was getting Cy Young chance, and then he got shelled for a couple games. And I think that the Rockies can pull it off. And I think that this total will probably end up going under. I don't see the Rockies putting up as much runs as last game, but I don't know how many more runs the Dodgers are going to put up. Their offense is supposed to be powerful, but without Mookie Betts, it's a struggle.
Smalls, what are you thinking?
I'm agreeing a lot with Trell today. I am with him as well. I'm on the under here. I mean, 11.5 is just a little too much for me. I think the Dodgers will play better than they have, but not enough for this to go over.
Dodgers total runs tonight. Over, under, it's at 6.5. How about this? I'm going to take the over. I think the Dodgers are going to smash tonight.
It was 6.5 last night. Yeah, the Dodgers are going to need some luck. I called it out like earlier. The Dodgers, their offense is just really bad. I remember they played the Guardians in a Kershaw pitched. He pitched to Jim. He lost the game because the Dodgers couldn't put up any runs.
They're a really weird team offensively. They either put up a bunch of crooked numbers or it's a bunch of zeros and a bunch of guys left in scoring position. So we will see what happens tonight. All right, let's head to prop number 6. Reds Cubs total runs 9.5. It's a Hunter Green day, which has traditionally meant there's a lot of strikeouts and also a lot of home runs on the board. So we'll see what happens. Trell, you want to kick us off with this one?
Here's Hunter Green in a nutshell. Home run, strikeout, or 4-pitch walk. That's it. Yeah. That's all he's got. And I think we might see 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, 3 home runs, and like 5 earned. I'm gonna take the over. The Cubs are in Wrigley. The Cubs in Wrigley are just, I think that they're just a different and they're just a better team. I thought they should have won the game last night, but Justin Steele at home is a guy that you want to back in Wrigley Field. So I'm gonna take the over total runs because I think the over correlates to a Cubs win. They get in the shootout. The Cubs can legit hit a ton of home runs. People don't realize the power that this team really has behind them.
So are we betting on the Cubs money line also?
I'd flirt with the Cubs money line.
Woohoo!
Cubs money line right now.
I don't mind it.
Minus 1.5 is plus 155, minus 135 on the money line. I don't hate that money line.
I would take both. I would take money line and I would take the minus 1.5.
All right, Steph, where are you leaning on this one?
You just convinced me actually to take the over, so I'm watching all my notes here, and I'm gonna do the over as well on this one.
I am going to lean towards the under on this one just because I think that we're getting a little bit of value, but I am going to bet on the Cubs, and we're going to have ourselves a day with a couple of nice money lines maybe on Chicago.
Hey, you're a very bold person betting an under with Hunter Green on the mound.
Hey, you know what? I'm getting some value on the board right there because it's listed at 9.5 on the Daily Dozen, but the market suggests that this is somewhere between I see a 7.5 out here and an 8.5. So I'm taking the value where I can get it. All right, our game of the day, prop number 7, White Sox, Angels, total run 7.5. It's Ohtani day. It's showtime. What do we think is going to happen tonight in Anaheim? Start with Smalls here.
So I'm a little torn here. So if you want to lean into the Ohtani day ordeal, I would probably lean the under here. As far as the 7.5, I'm probably staying away from that, and I'd rather take one of the team's runs. So you guys tell me what to do with this game.
All right, Trell, what do you got?
It's not just Ohtani day; it's also Kopech day. So we've got 2 great pitchers on the mound, right?
Yeah.
Great recipe for an under, but I think these balls are going to fly out in Anaheim. Ohtani just came off an amazing start, a record-breaking start where he's hitting, you know what I'm saying? One game, he's hitting bombs. Next game, he's striking out 12, 13 guys. I think that everyone's going to be extra high on Ohtani today and extra high on his strikeout prop and extra high on the Angels money line for them to win. And I think that the Sox are going to put some bats on some of these Ohtani balls. I don't see Ohtani having 2 straight outings where he completely blanks another team and gets 12 strikeouts. I think the Sox are going to probably get to him a little bit today, and I think we may inch over this total. It may be very close, but I think we could inch over it. 5-3 game, maybe.
Little White Sox money line plus 150 action. Is that what I'm hearing?
Dude, I can't. Being a White Sox fan, I can't actually. It's really hard to talk about betting on them without like showing.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I was like, something doesn't add up. Now we know. Okay, got it. Noted. This is our first couple shows with you, so we don't know all your teams and stuff. Yeah.
But yeah. Give me a Luis Robert home run. Give me Tim Anderson 2 total bases. I'm all for it.
Oh my God. All right. So let's get into some of the other ones for this game. White Sox total runs 3.5. Start with Trell here. Obviously the most neutral and unbiased opinion on this game possible. What do you think of the total runs?
Look, I'm not saying that we're gonna just hit 10 nukes off Ohtani or anything like that, but I think we could put up 1 or 2 against Ohtani, and that bullpen has to come in. And they saw what we did to their bullpen last night. I think we could scratch across 2 or 3 more against the bullpen. I'm going to take the White Sox total run team total over 3.5.
All right, so over 3.5 at BetMGM plus 110, 120 right now. So you get a little juiced action towards that over. Did I just hear a lock?
You got a lock.
Okay. First of all, that's my brand, and second of all, I love it. Steph, what do you think about the White Sox total runs 3.5 over?
Oh, gosh. If we're following trends, I would take the over here. I don't know that I'm going to follow this trend, so I'm leaning the under without a lot of confidence.
All right. Angels total runs 3.5. Start with Trell here. What do you think? What do you think about the White Sox pitching staff tonight against the Angels offense that can do some damage, but we're pretty much limited to it has to be from Trout or Showtime.
Andrew Velasquez. But yeah, Angels smoked 3 back-to-back home runs on us last night. Tonight, the one thing about Kopech is he lets up a lot of contact. Typically, the defense does pretty good behind him, but he lets up a lot of contact. And if you leave anything over the heart of the plate, or if you leave anything at down where Ohtani can just dig it out, we're gonna see some home runs. Like we're gonna see some hits this game. I'm gonna go with the LA Angels total runs over. It kind of correlates to me taking the over in this full game. When you get to bullpens, I think that's where you're really gonna see things spice up because the bullpens are gonna come in and they are gonna have to face some heavy hitters.
So we got White Sox over, Angels over, game total over. Now we get to Showtime. Total strikeouts 6.5. Steph, which way are you leaning here?
So pushing narrative out, if we're going against everyone thinking it's going to be an Ohtani day, I think that this under is actually very appealing if we're following trends. The numbers will tell you it's something that I would rather flirt with than him going over this number. I'm actually leaning taking the under. I think I'm turning into this is going to be one of those fade the public type ordeals, and I might fade the Ohtani day. I've been kind of swayed that way since we started talking.
I am also on the under here. It is listed at minus 150 at BetMGM, so I am going to eat the juice on purpose when I don't have to pay it, and I'll take the under. Trell, what are you thinking?
I'd like I said, I'd sell the half a point to take off the juice. And I'd take him under 6 strikeouts. Like I said, he just got he striked up like 12 in his last start, and they're setting his prop this 13. Low. Because 13, I'm a big Dylan Cease fan. He gets 10, 11, 12 strikeouts. His prop is going up to 8.5. There's a reason why they're plummeting this is still this low. It's still like the same from last game. I would take the under here. I think they're going to set a trap because a lot of people are going to just hammer the over after his last outing.
All right.
So I'm going to take the under here.
2 more Ohtani props. Total hits allowed 4.5. I'm going to lean towards the over here. Again, I'm going to follow kind of Trell here and say that the White Sox are going to have some more success than we would think against Ohtani. So I'll go over 4.5 here. Smalls, you also on the same page?
Yeah, kind of. Yes, I am.
That was very
Like,
convincing.
Yeah. Some of these, yeah, I just don't really like the numbers on this game, and it just feels like a trap, a lot of it.
All right, Trell. Yeah,
I like
what do
the
you got?
over. I like the over. I can't say that we particularly hit righties very well. We're better at hitting lefties. Let's just say that. We're top in the league at hitting lefties. Otani's a
Yeah.
righty. I'm not saying that we're amazing at hitting righties, but he's going to go 6-7 innings. We're going to hit the ball. We may not score every time, but we're going to hit the ball. So I'm going to go over 4.5 hits.
And trends have to come to an end. In the last 3, he's been under, and we love when trends come to an end. It's going to happen. So I actually can ride that with you there.
I love fading trends. That's my.
I love it. It's like, oh, it happened 3 times. Guess what? Not tonight.
All right, last one on the board. Ohtani, total bases 1.5. We're going the over here across the board on everything. So if the Angels are going to do anything, I'm going to take the over on Ohtani doing something offensively. And he's just a monster. So I think that he'll have some success tonight. Trell, what do you think?
It's pretty much the same logic as what I did with Yordan Alvarez and Pete Alonso yesterday. These are home run hitters. This is what they hit for. They're hitting for home runs and doubles and triples. Ohtani, as big as he is, he's super fast. If he gaps one, it's a double. I promise. It's a clear double. And if he even gets enough to gap it, it's probably going over the wall. So I'm going to take the total bases over 1.5.
All right, Steph, what do you think?
If I'm going to fade him as far as pitching goes, I'm not going to be dumb enough to do that batting wise. So I am going to take the over here.
All righty. That does it for Daily Dozen today. Again, you have until 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern to lock in these bets. We will be posting our best bets each individually on Champions Round IG and Twitter. Make sure to download the app, join us, come play against us, see if you can beat us, because I know Trell doesn't think you can beat him. I know I don't think that they can beat me. And Smalls is the only one that's proved that she can beat everybody. So why don't we jump into it? And we'll be back tomorrow morning. I think we're going to do some golf props tomorrow. Steph and I are going to try and get on some live golf action. Maybe get some.
What?
That's it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See the smile that gives me? Yeah, baseball could never.
We're going to be super degenerate with some live golf Daily Dozen. First of its kind. Until tomorrow, good luck with all your bets today. Follow all of us on social for all of our best plays today. And we'll talk to you soon. See ya.